This is the Bell AH-1Z Viper, often referred to as the Zulu Cobra. It's a twin-engine attack helicopter that serves as the primary attack platform for the United States Marine Corps. Developed as part of the H-1 upgrade program, it represents the most advanced evolution of the legendary AH-1 Cobra lineage, which began during the Vietnam War. But why the Army doesn't use the AH-1Z Viper? The main reason you won't see the Army flying the Viper really comes down to their long-term relationship with the AH-64 Apache. Way back during the Cold War, the Army decided they needed a heavy attack helicopter to replace the original Cobra from the Vietnam era. They wanted something that could survive tough hits, see perfectly in the dark, and take out Soviet tanks with ease. So they picked the Apache in 1976 and never looked back. By the time the Viper showed up as a fancy new version of the Cobra, the Army had already poured billions into the Apache. Switching gears at that point just didn't make sense for their wallets or their schedules. The Viper was basically built for the Marines to live on ships. It's marinized, which is just a fancy way of saying it has special coatings to fight off salt spray and rotors that fold up tight to save space on a crowded deck. The Army, on the other hand, usually operates from big bases on land. They don't really care about folding rotors. They care more about the Apache's heavy armor and its famous longbow radar. While the Viper is definitely faster and more nimble, the Army loves the Apache's big 30mm gun for those hunter-killer missions. Logistics play a huge part in this too. The Marines kept the Cobra family alive because the Viper shares about 84% of its parts with the Venom, their go-to utility helicopter. That makes fixing things on a ship much easier. But the Army went a different route, using the Black Hawk for transport and the Apache for attack. Since those two don't really share many parts, the Army didn't have much of a reason to keep the Cobra around once the Apache became their star player in the late 90s. At the end of the day, it's all about the budget and specialized roles. The Army has a massive fleet of nearly 800 Apaches, which means training and parts are actually cheaper because they buy so much at once. If they wanted to start using Vipers, they'd have to build an entirely new school for pilots and mechanics and set up a whole new supply chain. That's a lot of work. So, while the Viper is a perfect lean machine for Marine missions near the coast, the Apache stays the king of the hill for the Army's heavy-duty battlefield needs.